Insta360 just recently sent me the Insta360 Go2. Now this is the same company that makes awesome 360 cameras like the Insta360 One X2, which I've done a very thorough video on that you can check out right there if you're in the market for a 360 camera. But this one is not a 360 camera. This is a tiny little pocket-sized camera that has one lens and just shoots in one direction. This thing has the stability that they put into their 360 cameras, so I'm very excited to get this thing open and out there to test it out and for you guys to come along with me on that journey. Personally, I think they should change their name to just Insta and be Insta Go2, Insta X2, or whatever else. But that's their deal, and they'll decide if they're gonna keep that 360 in the name as they go forward with cameras that aren't 360. The first version of this only had a record time of about 5 minutes. This one is claiming to have a record time of 30 minutes, which completely changes the game because it's very rare that I record for more than 10 to 15 minutes in one take. So this should have plenty of time to be able to get some really cool shots. I plan to do a series of videos with this thing, bringing it to do some roller coaster riding, as well as get some shots that you just can't get with some of their other cameras as easily. So make sure if you haven't already subscribed to the channel, do that. Click the bell notification so you don't miss it when I make more content about this camera. Now let's get this thing open and get outside. According to the box, it comes with quite a few things, with a storage case that turns into a remote control and a tripod. Claims to have the flow state stabilization, which is what makes it so stable when you have their 360 cameras. You can do hands-free stuff, 1440p by 50 frames per second. It's waterproof, which is awesome because I didn't know that. Auto editing, which is their app doing the editing for you. Hyperlapse, slow motion, remote control, and a Wi-Fi preview. Open, come on, open. Whoa, that thing is, oh, cool. Okay, that's got a pretty good magnet to it. I'm impressed. This thing is tiny. It's so little.
That's what she said.
Comes with a little warning sticker that says the back of this camera, it will get hot during use. Avoid prolonged direct skin contact. Nice little warning thing there. Ooh, that must be where it hooks up to its base. And the magnet's probably somewhere in here. That is really cool. Whoa, okay, where's the magnet? Oh, the magnet's at the bottom. It's down in the very bottom of this, it seems like. Yep, the case reminds me a lot. Oh, whoa, cool. Comes with the charge to it, but it does remind me a lot of the Apple EarPods case. Notice on the inside there, you can see the little connectors where that looks like it should follow right in there. That is actually really nice quality. And Insta360's quality has just been improving and improving with every product I get of theirs. Here's some kind of little tripod-y little case thingy. We'll figure that out later. Some cables, another little thing here, and there's supposed to be some kind of magnetic pendant, maybe in here. There we go, that you can hang under your shirt and get shots with. Be careful because the camera's so small you forget where you put it. Did I put it in here? There we go. Ah, that's cool. It has a removable lens cover, which makes me think they might sell an ND filter kit for those that are super in ND filters. All right, let's go try this thing out. What I have going on here is it's magnetically stuck to this pendant. There's one side you can see a dotted outline. They say put it under your shirt instead of directly on it. I guess that's so it's not flopping around while you run or do whatever you're doing. And you hook it up to your app. It doesn't have a screen on it, something you do need to be aware of. It does get a really wide field of view. If I was holding a controller right here, you would totally be able to see all my fingers and motions. You would sort of need to bump it up like this because your chest is like, depending on your build, is built out, so it points up a little. To get it to look down, you'd have to do some tweaking to figure out a way to do that. So in the app, there's a lot of features. You can see video, pro video, HDR, time lapse, time shift, slow motion. You can change the resolution, 1440 to, depending on which mode you're in, you can do 1080, 30 frames a second, 50 frames a second. It's weird that it wouldn't jump up to 60 frames a second. Pro video is what I've been recommended to check out, but I do like the idea of HDR being on there. You can do a wide field of view, action field of view, which stretches things out. That's interesting. You see how the change of that, it goes from sort of wide and normal to sort of stretched out with action. Linear brings you in a little further, and then narrow brings you in that much more. It's got vivid, and for those who like to do their own thing, it's got log and as well as standard. I usually keep things in vivid because I want as little post-processing time as I need to make these videos. And keep in mind, a lot of this stuff you can actually change after the fact, which is a cool feature. And then you just hit record, and here we are. We should be recording right now. There's a little delay, as you could probably see, and let's see what kind of quality we get out of this as we do a little weed whacking. have an idea for the Go3. We need it to have like a beeper on it. It would be really easy to just misplace this. I'm a little worried about taking this to the roller coaster park tomorrow. Although it sticks pretty good, I don't know about doing it like that. Just a little pressure and it comes right off. So we might just sort of sneak it in my hand like this and see how that works. Although my finger might get in the way then. When I first got to Leash Gardens, I tried filming most everything by just holding it in its case like this. And that worked great while I was walking around. The stabilization seemed really pretty darn steady using it like this with such a small camera. But what I really wanted to test was this magnetic pendant. By throwing this thing on and using it under my shirt, I wanted to test this shanky, rackety old wooden roller coaster that they have at Leash Gardens. Before I got on the roller coaster, I walked around with it like this, and it did a pretty good job as far as what it was able to see even with this angle on the chest. I was really hoping that this would still work out pretty well for sitting down in the ride. But when I got to the Twister 2 wooden roller coaster and I sat down and I started to go, I noticed how up it was staring into the sky. You really want to be able to film down. There is a pro mode on this camera that lets you film in 1440, which gives you the ability to pan up and down on the camera after you've already recorded, similar to what you can do in other editing apps when you film in 1440. But when I started recording for the roller coaster by tapping the bottom of it right here, it just filmed in regular mode. So I wasn't able to edit it and see if that 1440 in pro mode actually made the difference that I needed to be able to pan down the way I was hoping to test. So once I realized I was mostly just filming the sky, I reached up and sort of grabbed the camera like this and sort of pulled it down in my shirt and just held the sides, and for half a second you see my fingers, but everything else from that point is pretty spot on, and the stabilization this thing created while on such a super shaky roller coaster was very impressive. Now I'm not sure if I can permanently set this thing up to just tap and turn on in pro mode. What I have been doing though is using it in this case and starting the recording while it's still in the case, and you can easily switch through the modes just by pushing the right button here, and that goes all the way from time-lapse, pro mode, normal mode, picture mode, slow motion, and everything else in between. As far as stability goes, if you look right here at the front of the roller coaster car, you can really see it shaking around while the video is perfectly stable. I did also notice by riding the roller coaster when the wind was going by it, it killed the audio and you can't really hear our voices very well. If there is wind cancellation in this, I haven't figured out how to turn it on yet. And if not, then hopefully the Go3 adds that into it. If you do know how to turn it on, if that's in here, let me know in the comments below. And when I got off the roller coaster, I thought I had turned it off. I picked it up, put it back in its case, put it in my pocket, and filmed for 15 minutes of just audio and blackness. Since it is an internal battery and you will have limited recording time, make sure you turn it off so you're not wasting precious recording time recording nothing. This thing is pretty cool, and the fact that you can do all this editing after the fact, you can switch it from 9:16, 1:1, 16:9, which is really cool because if you want to share it to, say, TikTok, Instagram, anything like that, you can edit this 3 different ways like that, pump it out 3 different ways and upload it straight to those devices. You can change the field of view after the fact, which is cool. You can actually edit the coloring and reshape faces and do some things to people's noses and all kinds of weird stuff. You can add music right to it from the app. You can change the speed, do hyperlapses, all that right in the app. There's so many options in editing this right from your app. This is really cool. I mean, this shot's like this right here. I can change it from that to 9:16 and make little clips for whatever social media I want, or I can bring this, export it, and then put it into Final Cut Pro and mix it in with the footage like you guys are watching right now. Now, the only complaint that I have so far, this little guy here, if you were hanging this on your chest, it just seems to want to shoot up into the air, which doesn't give you the shots you're probably thinking you're going to get. I wish that they had made this thing with an angle so it sort of sticks out more on top, or maybe this was adjustable so that you could decide what angle that you wanted it at. You can see like how that is on my chest versus if we had an angle or an adjustable thing, I can make it straight or angle it down and that I think would be huge. I'm going to do a little hike and we're bringing the camera with. One of the things I'm gonna do is just use the things that came with it, the little clips to hook to your hat, as well as this that has a tripod jack down at the bottom. We're gonna hook that to a pole and just get some shots here at Hanging Lake in Colorado to see how this thing does. Having all kinds of issues with this thing, with getting it to power on and record. It keeps saying connecting, never turns on again. Although it's been in this case and only being used for like 20 minutes. But I can't not share with you guys Hanging Lake. Luckily, I have my GoPro 9 and I'm gonna share some shots of Hanging Lake and then we'll go back to the studio when I figured out what the F is happening to this guy. The mosquitoes, once you get off the trail under the brush and the water, are freaking huge.
This is really good. That's the answer to the question.
Yeah, we're getting
The
close.
last quarter mile, we're probably halfway.
Almost there. I know this view doesn't even come up close on film to what it really does. Again, I stress, go check this hike out. It's gorgeous. Fishy right there. Drones aren't allowed, so you're not going to see any cool aerial footage. This is a beautiful destination for a hike. I hear about Hanging Lake all the time. I never hear about this waterfall, which you can actually walk right up behind in a grotto, which is dope. Really loud, so I don't even know if you can hear me. Woo! Right there. Right there. Oh, getting all wet. Ooh, look at that. That's a cool photo spot. Tight fit. Tight fit. My backpack got caught. So if you do come to Hanging Lakes Trail here in Colorado, make sure to take the extra 5 minutes and hike up to the waterfall. That's not the ones you see down to the lake, but the one that's coming out of the side of a rock above it and it's just gushing. So as far as I can tell, the issues I'm having are a lack of battery. So I'm gonna go take this to the house. We're gonna rejoin each other in the office. Now I've had this for a few weeks since I started filming this video. And when I first got it, it did have a charge on it, like I mentioned earlier in this video. And before I went to Hanging Lake, I used my MacBook charger with a USB-C out to the USB-C in, thinking, it's gonna charge in no time. There'll be plenty of battery for the Hanging Lake hike. For whatever reason, this will not charge with a bigger amperage power brick like this. It does not charge with this iPad power brick. However, it does charge with the older iPad power bricks that put out a little less amperage, as well as the smaller iPhone, as well as Android chargers that have the smaller power bricks to them. Something you should be aware of if you buy this and you're sitting there going, why won't it charge? I can't get it to charge. These just won't work. So I'm walking around Hanging Lake trying to film with this when it went out, and I thought there was an issue with the camera. There was no issues with this. There were only issues with me. This is the most pocketable camera I now own, and it opens you up to do a lot of things that you can't do with just like a regular camera. If you are on the fence and you're thinking about getting one, go for it. Obviously, I'm going to link to it down in the description because I give this one 2 thumbs up. I am happy with this, and I think you would be too. Now, will it replace something like a GoPro or a 360 camera? That's left for another video. If you're interested, let me know in those comments below, and I'll make some more videos showcasing it against other products. I appreciate all of you who come to the channel, and if you are new here, remember, in the description below, I carry merch, t-shirts, stickers, all kinds of things representing the channel so that you can help show your support and everything sold helps the channel continue to grow and move forward. I hope you enjoyed this, and if you did, remember, sharing is caring. So click the little share button and share it with all your favorite people. And until the next time, we'll be seeing you. I need a better outro. Let me know in the comments below if you have an idea for a better outro. I gotta say, I really think this camera is pretty damn cool. It just fits in your pocket in a way that a GoPro or another action camera doesn't.